Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana faces yet another tough balancing act in dispensing the national fiscus. As part of expectations ahead of the budget speech to be delivered on Wednesday, the business community has outlined that National Treasury's plans should achieve a fair and functional fiscal path which will balance growth and welfare. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo has the details.
Government has committed to improving rail and port logistics, and South Africans have enjoyed days without load shedding. However, it's a long journey ahead to convince economic stakeholders that structural reforms of state-owned entities will provide a permanent fix.
There will be some communication and some PR work that will be required from our state-owned enterprise to almost sell themselves, right, to the businesses that they're wanting to get on board, because there's a need to rebuild the trust and there's a need to actually get these customers consuming at the right scale. So I think there's just rebuilding that bridge from a trust perspective.
Once the trust has been rebuilt, the South African Institution of Civil Engineering highlights that all efforts must be put on removing the burden state-owned entities have on the fiscus by putting all the puzzle pieces of the reforms together.
You need to have the finances, you need to have the institutional capacity, and then you need to spend that finances as best as you can. And then you need to consider new as well. But those three is a very fine balance.
Slabert says this is especially important as new challenges arise with other state-owned entities, including those responsible for water.
So there is water, but it doesn't get to the people. Why? Again, infrastructure. Why is it not? Why is the infrastructure in that situation? Poor maintenance. Why is the maintenance poor? I'm not so sure that it's a money problem.
He highlights that it's more about more accountability required to track how the money is spent, adding that currently South Africa borrows R1 for every R1 it spends, and that turning to debt is no longer an option.
Eskom knows, then we get to about 75% already. But if you add the backlog or the loans to Transnet and those other entities, we easily get to 90%.
Senior economist at the Bureau for Economic Research and the head of Mpumelelo Economic Growth Lab, Dr. Roy Heavenman, says political will has been lacking when it comes to fixing SOEs, but that he is encouraged by the government of national unity. The power situation is a stark reminder of the work ahead.
It was an unwelcome reminder to all of us that electricity is obviously still our biggest risk. And so we will be looking to the budget to provide us with more information on how the Treasury is thinking about particularly providing financial support to Eskom. Secondly, the progress of the breaking up of Eskom. And thirdly, the financing of the transmission infrastructure.
He's also looking out to hear what Treasury has to say about the money for Transnet.
They have indicated that they need a significant amount of money to be able to repay their debt. We are looking at anywhere between 40 and 50 billion, perhaps around 45, 46 billion. And so we'll be certainly looking at whether or not the Treasury pencils in any money for Transnet.
What is encouraging, according to him, is that government is starting to see their plans through.
When the president tries to announce new things and has new ideas that, when we know that old ideas haven't been implemented yet. So it's good that we are sticking to the plan. But I think the core thing is going to make sure that these things are actually implemented.
Ndlovu says fixing state-owned entities will allow the business sector to get on with driving growth and job creation.
Significant growth is going to come from businesses, right? These entrepreneurs, small, medium, and upper medium businesses that are the users of the infrastructure.
For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Johannesburg.